We've got BBB here with Tom, One Bomb Hill. How are you doing, Tom? You alright? Mid-workout, I appreciate you.
Yes.
I'll give you a little rest, man, and we'll not tell Dave. How's it all going? You obviously, last fight out didn't quite go as planned in December. How was that experience for you, if you don't mind reliving it?
Going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And that's in the words of Dave Neil Fan. A lot of people said it'll turn out to be the best thing that happened to me. I wasn't right tonight. Probably shouldn't have been in the ring. We hadn't had the proper preparation. Well, we'd had the full amount of time, but down to a little injury, we picked up bad habits, and then bad habits caused a serious problem in the fight. But we let Ellis Corrie have his night, and I'm coming for him.
You actually coming back the same night he's defending that Northern Area strap against Chad Ellis. You're on the undercard of the MTK show, 29th of February. You've got a fairly tough opponent for considering his record and considering you're coming off a loss. Sergio Bonmo, for those who aren't aware. Is that like obvious choice? Is that something you deliberately picked?
Well, I didn't want to be coming back into fight. No disrespect to them. My past opponents that haven't been up the level. I want somebody that's going to cause me a little bit of problems. Part of learning is having tough fights, and I think you cause a bit of complacency when you're boxing these people who aren't coming to throw anything back, aren't trying to hit you with anything. Then when you do get in with somebody that hits you, shit goes wrong.
Find out what happens. Do you think that was an issue in that fight? Because I didn't attend it. I've heard different accounts. I've spoken to your trainer Dave Binns about it, and you're saying like you'd started the fight well, and maybe complacency even within those early rounds crept in.
Maybe so, but I mean, you can sit and say shit like all night, can't you? But at the end of the day, what happened, and it's pointless making excuses to why it happened, and we just got to get back on the horse. And I will, and I promise you this, if he boxes me again, I will put him out. 1,000,000%. He's not on my level. He's really not on my level. You
obviously honestly believe that? Like,
yeah, genuinely.
I'm not disagreeing or doubting. I'm just saying that you can see in your eyes.
He's not on my level, and obviously that's one of the reasons that I wanted so bad, because everybody in that building knew that night. Nobody expected him. He didn't expect to win. That's why he wanted to wage out me before we boxed. He did not expect to win that fight. Not one tiny bit. But fair play to him. He got the win, and if he comes through this next one, hopefully he comes through this next one, because I want him after that.
And you've alluded to some like bad habits sort of in the build-up, and interestingly enough, I spoke to Ellis a few weeks ago on our podcast, and both him and his trainer Pete Jepson said he'd experienced moments earlier on in his career where he sort of cut corners, things weren't quite right, and he's learned from that. And you're saying there that you've learned from things in the build-up. Is there anything in particular, any specifics you can share?
If you're not right, you shouldn't be in there on the night. And me thinking, I always thought throughout the process, I thought even on my worst night, I'm going to turn up and beat him. So that's down to me. That's my own show. I shouldn't have been in there, but I was in there, and he's done the right. Like, he pulled out in the one that was meant to be in the summer for his own reasons. Maybe he wasn't right, and he done the smart thing. And I thought, I'm not going to be that person that does that, because you're prepared for a fight, haven't you? But in the future, I won't make the same mistake.
Do you think that's, again, it's obviously something you've paid the cost for this time, but in boxing, that's probably quite an easy mistake to make? There's a lot of like ego and bravado in there, and you don't want to be sort of seen as pulling out of fights or bottling it. I'm paraphrasing them, using it air quotes, because to me, it's not bottling it, it's smart. But then once you're in that position, I've not been in that position, you must be thinking, well, like, you know, I'm going to do it, I'm going to fight, I'm going to win.
There was nothing stopped me on that night, because I thought, regardless, I'm going to turn up and win. Now, looking forward, if I'm in the same position again, I won't make the same mistake again.
How soon do you think a potential rematch could happen? Obviously, you're both on the same card, end of this month, as we've said. I know Ellis is provisionally booked in for the Arena show.
Make it for that. I'd be over the moon. Live on Sky Sports, chin him, no problem.
Taking a few T-siders up the Tyneside.
Well, there'll be a few going.
How have you found that? And I'll just, obviously, again, I mean, ticket sales is something we talk about all the time, and like, obviously you're coming off that loss. Has there been a loss of interest, or is it you still relying?
Yeah, to be fair, there was we've done about half the numbers this time, but it's after Christmas and what have you, and there's a lot of people that are away and stuff like that. A lot of lads are away, so I don't know. Only time will tell.
No, I mean, like, that sounds like quite a ruthless question as I said it out loud, but
only time will tell.
You've got to build up, haven't you, and like rebuild in every sense.
Again, I've got to give people a reason to be interested, don't I? And that's another reason I didn't want to box an opponent that wasn't going to come and give a a bit of a show because people aren't interested in it. If you've just got to sell tickets in it, and if they're no good, then it's not going to sell tickets.
And then what about your future if the rematch doesn't materialise? Is there...
Yeah, move on like we were always going to move on. I mean, at some point, I don't believe he's on a level where he's going to go to the top. So at some point, he's going to come back down. I will get the rematch at some point. But we just rebuild and chase the British title and go on from there.
And just a quick word for your kid. How's Joe doing? Is he alright?
He's doing well, mate. Yeah, he's just he's back to work. He said to Dave, he said, I'm not going to come back until I can give you 100% commitment, which is right. So it's just time for him. But,
is that just a case of life getting in the way?
Yeah, well, his missus is in the middle of setting up like a business and releasing this big product. So he's like a little babysitter, I think. No, so he doesn't have a lot of time. Obviously, she's doing that. When he gets in from work, he's got to watch the kids while she gets on with that stuff. So maybe in time he'll be back.
Hope he is. Hope to see you back. Thank you very much for your time, Tom. Any one last message?
Ellis Corrie, you're a bum.
I think we'll leave it there. Cheers.